All right, now we're looking on page 7. On page 7, instead of just having a note followed by a rest, we have two notes together with a little comma, which we call that a breath mark. That means to take a breath between the notes. So we're going to start these notes by saying poo, poo, putting our tongue right behind our front teeth, top teeth, and going. Just blowing our tongue out of the way. It'll give a sound. That'll start the ear. So when we do that on the flute, it's going to sound like this. Instead of going and trying to focus the air in. That lets us set our lips and then release it with the tongue. So practice doing that with your tongue and starting that note. And then we'll do number 7 all the way through. Now looking at number 7, we're going to go straight through it. We're going to finger the notes together. So we're looking at the first note. It's on the 4th line. Every good boy does fine. So that's the D. We finger the D by putting our fingers on the home keys, including the long thumb, no pinky, and lift the first finger of the left hand. That gives us D. So we have a D, then we breathe, and then we have another D. Then we have that whole rest. Then we change notes to E flat. So to go from D to E flat, we just add the right pinky key. And then we have another E flat. Then we have a rest. Then we have to go to F. So remember, F was every finger down, lift 2 and 3. So we have thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1, no 2, 3, and the pinky. So I'm going to play through that, and you can play with me. I'm going to start the metronome, so go ahead and get your flutes up. 1, 2, here we go. Two, 3, change. One, 2, 3. Okay, so that gives us our D, E, and F. And we're breathing where the comma is, starting every note by saying poo with our tongue. Now looking at number 8, we have something new. Before we had a round note by itself in the measure, and we call that a whole note. Well, now we have 2 notes. And it's just like math. If we take a whole and cut it into 2 parts, we call those 2 parts halves. And that's what we have here. We have 2 half notes in the measure. And then that rest that's sitting on top of the line, like a hat on top of your head, is a half rest. Where the whole note gets 4 counts, the half note gets 2 counts. And a whole rest gets 4 counts, and a half rest gets 2 counts. So if we look at number 8, notice there's no every good boy does fine. It's just one line. So that's called a counting line. So we can count and clap that line through. So if we counted and clapped that, it would look like this. We would have 1 whole 2, 3 whole 4, 1 whole 2, rest, rest. 1 whole 2, 3 whole 4, whole note gets 4 counts. 1 whole 2, 3 whole 4, 1 whole 2, half, rest. 1 whole 2, half, rest. Whole notes get 4 counts off. So try that with me. Let's clap and count through number 8. Here we go. Ready? 1, 1, 2, ready, clap and count. 1 whole 2, 3 whole 4, 1 whole 2 whole 3 whole 4. 1 whole 2, 3 whole 4, 1 whole 2 whole 3 whole 4. 1 whole 2, 3 whole 4, 1, hold 2, half, rest. 1, hold 2, half, rest. 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, stop. All right. Okay, now we're going to play line 8. And since the staff doesn't tell us what note to use, we look in the little text box, and it tells us that flutes will play the note D. We remember note D is our thumb on this long thumb key, our fingers on all the home keys, and we lift the first key on the left hand. And D sounds like this. We're going to use D for every note in that exercise. I'm going to play it for you once, and then you can repeat and play with me as many times as you would like. So I'm going to set the metronome, and I'm going to play through it once, and then you keep repeating this and play with me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, begin. Half, rest. Half, rest. Half, rest. All right, so you can keep repeating that and do it over and over until you get where you can make it through each one of those notes without any problems. And you can also practice that on every note that we know, D, E, and F. It just won't sound right if you play with me on the recording. Okay, we're going to look at line 9 now. In line 9, we're using all the 3 notes that we learned on page 6. So our first note that we have on 9 is D. We have 3 D half notes followed by a half rest. Then we have 3 E flat half note, or 2 E flat half notes and an E flat whole note. But if you notice in that third measure, they only mark one of the E's flat. They don't mark the second one in the measure because we don't have to. That flat sign that's in front of the first E in the third measure is good for the rest of the measure. So however many more E's they put in that measure, they're all E flat. Then we go to the next measure where we have 3 F half notes followed by a half rest. Then we have an E flat half note followed by a half rest. Then we have a D whole note. So I'm going to play it the first time. I want you to say the note names out loud and finger the notes and count the rest. Then you can rewind and play along with me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, now. Rest, rest. All right, so now the next time you play it along with the recording, and you keep going back and forth between saying the note names and playing the part. And when that gets easy, then we're ready to go on to number 10. All right, now on number 10, sight reading challenge stepping, we're changing notes now right next to each other. So if we look at the first 2 measures, we have E flat, then D, then E flat. So we don't get a rest to change notes on. Then we have E flat, then F, then E flat, then E flat, D, E flat, F, E flat, then a half rest, then an E flat for a whole note. So for this time, I want you to finger along with me and say the note names out loud. Here we go. Fingering and saying. Ready, begin. E flat, 2, D, 4, E flat, 2, rest, rest. E flat, hold, F, hold. E flat, hold for 4 counts. E flat, hold, D, hold. E flat, hold, F, hold. E flat, hold, half, rest. Whole notes get 4 counts. And that last note was an E flat. So now we're going to try playing that together. So here we go. Get your flutes ready. 1, 2, Playing. Now. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. All right, so keep repeating this, and while we repeat, say the names while I play, and then play along with me until we're moving our fingers easily between the notes. I'm exaggerating my fingers coming up so you can see what I'm moving, but when you're playing, the fingers need to stay really close to the keys so we don't have to move a long distance. Okay, now we're looking at number 11, El Camino Mariachi, and this is a duet. A duet is when two people play together, but they play different notes. So as we go through this, we have a part A and a part B. We're going to start off with just part A right this second. So let's look at part A on number 11. We're going to finger that together. That first note is D. The second note is E flat. The next measure is F. Then the next measure is F, then E flat, then D. Then we have a half rest. Then we have D, then F, then E flat, then a half rest, then F, then E flat, then D for a whole note. So say that with me. Ready? Let's say and finger together. Number 11A. Ready? Begin. D, hold. E flat, hold. F, hold for 4 counts. F, hold. E flat, hold. D, hold. Half rest. D, hold. F, hold. E flat, hold. Half rest. F, hold. E flat, hold. D, hold for 4 counts. All right. All right, now we're going to play number 11 together. We can repeat this as many times as you want. You can say it along with me, or you can play along with me until we get these notes changing easily. I'm going to start the metronome. Now we're going to play this together. 1, 2, begin, and. Rest. And notice I'm not breathing between every note. I'm trying to get 2 or 3 notes on each breath. And I'm definitely not huffing and puffing. So I'm starting every note with the tongue. 2, 2, 2. And it sounds like. So I'm trying not to, but keep that same air going and just touch the air with my tongue. So just keep repeating that until our fingers are moving easy. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to be to get through those notes. Now we're going to look at number 11, part B. So this is the second part of the duet. Let's say and finger the notes together. We start with D, then E flat, then D. That's a whole note. Then D, then E flat, then F, and a half rest. Then F, then D, then E flat, and a half rest. D, then E flat, then F for 4 counts. So, now that we've said them, let's play that together. I'll play it, you can say it with me, or you can play with me, and just keep going back and forth between playing and saying until we're moving easily. Then you can go back and play part A while I play part B, and we'll have a duet. Or play part B while I play part A. You can try it both ways. Now let's play part B together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. rest, rest, rest. And you can keep repeating this as many times as you need to. Play part A while we're playing B, play part B while I'm playing part A, and create your own duet. Now we're looking at number 12, Cuckoo. This is taking us, moving our fingers a little bit more, so let's say and finger this together. So pick up your flutes, let's get our fingers on the home keys, and finger our first note, F. Then the second note is D. Third note is F. Then we have our half rest. Then F. Then E flat. Then D, which is a whole note. Then we have F. Then D. Then F. Then D. Then E flat. Then F. Then D. Using these notes back and forth. When you're practicing this, practice it in small sections. Go over the first two measures, F, D, F, and get that where you can do that without any problems. Yeah, and once we can do that easily, then go on to the next one. And then go on to the next two measures, then go on to the last two measures. So now, finger that with me and let's say those note names out loud. Ready? Here we go. F, hold, D, hold, F, hold, half, rest. F, hold, E flat, hold, D, hold for 4 counts. F, hold, D, hold. F, hold, D, hold. E flat, hold. F, hold, D, hold for 4 counts. All right, so now let's play that. Ready? Get our fingers set. First note is F. 1, 2, here we go. Rest, rest. And keep repeating that. Do it in 2 measures, do it in 4 measures, and then put the whole piece together. And it will get easy pretty quick. Okay, now we're looking at line 13, excellence in ear training. Notice these notes are just little black notes, and what they want you to do here is listen to me play where it says listen, and then you play where it says play, and hold those notes for 4 beats. So I'll play the note, then you'll play the note. So with the first measures, we have D, I'll play D, then you'll play D. Then I'll play E flat, then you'll play E flat. I'll play E flat again, you play E flat. I play D, you play D. So I'm going to start the metronome, and we're going to do that together. I play first, you count while I play, I'll count while you play. 1, 2, ready, now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gets us through page 7. Keep practicing these exercises. Listen to what it sounds like when I play it, then play it back with me as many times as you need to. The more you do this, the better you're going to get.